Leading a team that's scattered all over the place, different cities, different continents, that's a challenge as old as time. So how do you actually build a tight-knit, high-performing team when you're all miles apart? Well, let's dive into some wisdom that's surprisingly ancient.
So where are we getting this from? A business book from 1994 called Virtual Leadership. Now I know what you're thinking, 1994? In tech years, that's practically the Stone Age. But what's so wild is how the core ideas in this book are more relevant today than they've ever been.
In this book, it really nails a dilemma that feels so incredibly current. You've got remote work, hybrid teams, global projects. The number one challenge for any leader today is getting results from people you might barely ever see face to face.
So let me ask you, straight up, does leading your remote team sometimes feel like a daily battle? Just trying to keep everyone on the same page, motivated, and moving in the same direction? If you're nodding along, yeah, you are definitely not alone. The book actually gives us this character, a project leader named Jim Smith, who's basically our stand-in. He's in charge of a distributed team, and it's just not working. He's frustrated, he doesn't know how to bridge the distance, and he's just desperate for something to click. Sound familiar?
Okay, so we've got this very modern problem, right? But the book solution isn't some new app or management fad. Nope, it looks way, way back in time for the answer.
This is the whole premise, and it's brilliant. Our guy Jim Smith gets mentored by the OG of remote leaders, King Arthur. I mean, think about it. Arthur had to unite and lead knights who are scattered all across the kingdom. He was running the ultimate distributed team. And Arthur doesn't give Jim, a PowerPoint presentation. He teaches him through these powerful, timeless symbols from his own legend. We're going to break down 3 of the biggest ones for you: Excalibur, the Round Table, and Merlin. All right, first up, you got to talk about the sword, right? Excalibur. In this whole framework, the sword stands for the single biggest challenge a remote leader faces: building trust. So Excalibur, it's all about one thing: trust. Without it, absolutely everything else falls apart. Just like Arthur teaches, before you can command people, you have to connect with them. Before you can lead, you got to build that foundation of trust. And let's be real, building trust is so much harder when you're not in the same room. You lose all those little coffee break chats that build relationships. You can't read body language on a call. And a simple miscommunication can just snowball and completely wreck any trust you've managed to build.
Okay, so you're starting to build trust. Awesome. But what's the next step? Now you have to make this scattered group of individuals feel like one single unified team. And for that, we look to the round table. The round table is just the perfect metaphor, isn't it? It has no head, which means everyone has an equal seat. Arthur used it to constantly remind his knights that no matter where they were all part of the same team. So for you, as a leader, you have to intentionally create your own round tables, those rituals or symbols that just scream, "We are all in this together." And this really gets to the heart of the struggle, this constant tug of war. See, people are naturally going to feel more loyal to the folks they see every day in their local office. Your job is to create a stronger pull, a shared identity that's more powerful than physical location.
So we've got trust, we've got unity. There's one more piece to this puzzle, and it kind of requires a little bit of magic. Or, in this case, a little wisdom from a famous wizard.
And that's where Merlin comes in. He represents the magic of truly effective communication across distance. And look, this isn't just about sending more emails or having more Zoom calls. It's about making sure your message actually lands with the right meaning and context, no matter how many miles are in between. Right? Because the team in London is living in a totally different information bubble than the team in Atlanta. So when you send out a message, it lands in 2 completely different worlds. And that gap, that is just a breeding ground for misunderstandings that can totally derail a project.
So let's put it all together. Your quest as a virtual leader really follows this legendary path. First, you have to wield Excalibur. You have to earn the right to lead by building trust. Then you gather your team at the round table to create that unbreakable unity. And finally, you channel Merlin to master the magic of communication.
And that's really the genius of this whole idea, isn't it? It takes a problem that feels so modern and tech-focused and shows us that the solutions are actually timeless and deeply human. Trust, unity, and communication. It worked for Camelot, and it's what works for successful virtual teams today. So, I want you to take a second and really think about your team. What is the Excalibur of trust that they need you to build right now? Is it being more reliable, more transparent, creating a space where it's safe to fail? Figuring that out, that's the first step on your own legendary quest as a leader.